in the middle of a sea. I was hot driving. She was blinking at the knee. When I was in her eyes, and she was mine, I didn't know what it was. Well, she was for me. Y'all bad love. Me and my grenade girl, we made the KC. Away from camp, we in the heart of smoke weed. But she gotta know that I gotta go down on your city. Well, she was for me. Y'all bad
What's happening, boys and girls of all ages? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, the Texas Silver Rush, the Organic Grill, and of course, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards. How's everybody doing around the world? A lot of crazy shit going on, a lot of drama. A couple people passed away. Wow. It's a crazy world, man, right now. What's up, Philippe? Hi, Drew. Hi, everyone watching this from Verdun Beach in Montreal. Verdun. Wow. How you doing, Philippe? AK, how are you doing, hon? Say hi to Bear for us. What's up in Leeds, John? Live at Leeds with Happy Jack, right? What's up, Fab? How are you doing, bro? Crazy shit. It's all about hardcore. Yeah. Yep. Yes, James. It is Wednesday. Time for a little New York hardcore love. Absolutely. You know, let me see. Couple of shows. Let's get this out of the way. Coming up next on Sunday is our boy Joe Songo from Outburst, Astoria, Queens. Oh, what's up, Pietro? From Rome, Italy. What's up in Rome, brother? Norway, France, checking in. Man, up in Bear, is that Bear Country? Anyway, help me help you. Let me stay focused here. Joe from Outburst coming up this Sunday. This should be cool. Big Queens guy. More Queens stuff. You know, after Mike DeJean, more Queens stuff. After Joe, we got the producer Ed Stasium. And we're super stoked on that. You know, he produced the Ramones and played on some of those Ramones records, produced Living Color Vivid, Motorhead 1916, Biohazard State of the World Address, you know, Misfits, you know, Smithereens, lots of stuff. Ed's going to be great. He's an old friend, so that should be really cool. And then after Ed, of course, we got former singer of the Bad Brains and Fireburn, Israel, is coming on. We're trying to land that for a while, so that's going to be a cool one. And after that, we got JJ, the singer for Discharge. What's up? Coming at us from all the way across the pond is going to be JJ. So kind of stoked on that. In the meantime, let's keep it moving and grooving. Let me see. How you doing, Johanna? What's up, Lou Zaretsky? What's up? Hardcore is a lifestyle. I never judge anyone on skin color, look at style of dress. Hardcore. Oh, well. Well, we got one. What's up, Rick? What's happening upstate, man? Hope you're well. Speaking, Todd Youth passing away. Wow, Walter Lure from the Heartbreakers passed away. Frankie Benelli from Quiet Riot. Our friend Justin Towns Earl passed away, which is very tragic. He was managed by Brooklyn Larry, who manages Sick of It All. We were friends with him, and that's a real tragedy. He was very young. Drugs and alcohol. Whew, dealing with that on my end here. I know some of you people might know about the antidote shit that's been going on. Oof, man. Enrique Masada from Bloodline, New Jersey Bloodline, passed away, and of course Riley from Power Trip. It's crazy. What's up, Tommy? What do you say, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. I am Dirk from Germany. I am Drew from New York. Yes, that's rest in peace, Rec from New Jersey Bloodline. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, Todd Youth, it's a crazy world right now. It's been a crazy world, but we get together here and we have our community and we do our thing, right? Rest in peace to our soldiers. Yeah, absolutely. Our hardcore soldiers. You got that right. You know what? While we're at it, let me get a couple of this. Let me get some of these out of the way, and then we'll bring on Rap Bones, talk about Collectible of the Day. The Texas Silver Rush is a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to create and design unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo, photos, social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rollet of Journey, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. As we know, the guy that owns the Texas Silver Rush, Joe Romini, is Vinny Stigma's cousin. During this current pandemic, all information and online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram pages, and of course, at www.thetexassilverrush.com. Also, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards is located in Lakewood, Colorado. It's the Rocky Mountain headquarters of all things punk, hardcore, and keep going like this, like surfer, and metal. Hey man, hang 10. And metal. What? And metal. Established in 2014, they have the largest selection of records, CDs, shirts, stickers, patches, and accessories between Chicago and Los Angeles. From the pit to the ditch, they got your back. Get in touch with them at www.chainreactionrecords.com. That said, let's make sure we got everything set up here. What is this? Good to see you. Derek from Citizens Arrest. What's up, Derek? Hope to play Niagara again someday. Hey, eventually it'll pass. And Citizens Arrest will play Niagara again. That was a great show that you played. And thank you for being a part of it. That said, what's up with Rap Bones? What's up with you, Rap Bones? What's up?
What's up?
What's happening?
No, not much, man. Yo, rest in peace to all my peeps, man. We're going through a hard hit with Reek, man, dying. New Jersey Bloodline. I've known that guy my whole life. Rest in peace, Enrique. Prayers to his family and friends. And then Riley Gale. What another great dude. I saw those guys the first time, and I told them backstage, you guys remind me of what I saw as a young man when I saw Van Halen. That energy they had was something I hadn't seen in a few years in hardcore. It was good to see them really kicking some juice back into it. You know, man. And rest in peace, man, Riley, man. Good dude.
Yeah, it seems like it's another person every day, man.
Man.
What's that? What's going on? Is that a new shirt? What's happening?
Yeah, I actually just got some new shirts in. This is the I don't know if you have the photo of what this shirt is, Drew.
Yeah, there it is.
So
right there.
I think the photographer's name is Brian Burson, I believe. Took an awesome shot of me. And I really like the artist, the way he captured the Webster Hall, drop off the balcony up here. It's a great shirt. I love it. And you can order it at rbpitwear.com. PayPal me if you want to get one. I got all sizes. I got some big boy sizes, XXX up.
That's it, right? That's it. rbpitwear@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's it. Scrolling down there.
Cool.
So yeah, we got some toys today, guys. I'm just gonna run through some real quick. We're gonna do a walkthrough of just some of the cooler toys I've already had on the show, maybe, but I really love this old school. And this is like why I shop. This is what I do, the flea market. I got this for like $2. It's a 1968 Sonic Force squirt gun. But look how, it looks like Han Solo.
Dude, that thing will get you killed if you pull that thing out. And that's crazy, man.
My kid don't play with guns, only on TV. But I got that, and then I love this little guy. I love 80s stuff. I love the little phone home, little ET. I like smalls, they're cool. Got the little phone. And then
hey, did Luke see ET yet? Did you watch ET with Luke?
No, he's all wants to see It right now.
It?
Yeah, they want to see It.
The John Carpenter It?
No.
That was the Thing. I'm sorry, that was the Thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome movie.
Yeah, and you know what I like too? The prequel. I thought the prequel was good too.
I've never seen.
Yeah, there's a prequel to the John Carpenter's The Thing. I don't know if you remember. The film starts with the helicopter shooting at the dog running through the snow.
Right.
The movie the prequel ends with them going after the dog. It's crazy.
It's cool.
Go ahead.
All right, so we'll keep going here with a couple more. I like these. I guess the theme today is like how you can find. Like I like finding a toy that's in like a box of tools at the flea market. Like that's my dream. I found this little bad boy like that. I paid like $1 for this, and it's probably only worth about 20. But got the Firestone on it, and I'm showing this one too because the STP, right? And when I was growing up, everybody had an STP sticker on their bike way before Stone Temple Pilots. It was like a cool thing, And then I got the last two real quick, and we'll move on because we're going to have a good show today with Phil. I love Phil. And I love this Micronaut, so I might have shown it, but maybe you weren't watching that day. And I love this guy. It's one of my I think the Micronauts were the best toy line. Also by Mego, who put out like the Batman doll, the Migos, the Planet of the Apes line. So there's a sick ass Micronaut, and I love him. I thought I showed this last time, but I don't care. He got the little brain in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, Dominic says he had that STP sticker on my bike in school books. Yeah. And you know what? It's appropriate because Phil Caivano's coming on the show today. And I remember seeing Blitzspear back in the day, and there was like STP and stickers, and that was their shtick.
I kind of did throw that in the mix.
I see him laughing backstage.
Yeah.
Their shtick was like with the racing banners and everything.
Give him something to talk about. That's right.
Yeah, man.
Last toy of the day, guys. I know I like to kick out a bunch, but I always loved the G.I. Joe line. Was maybe from my older brother who's like in his 60s. And those were cool, but I only like saw those. I didn't have them. But then this line I was old enough to have, and it's like when G.I. Joe kind of got a little cornier, he came out with like Bullet Man, but this was the bad guy, the Intruder.
Wow.
So I always dug this dude. And he's super cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it got kind of, I think the war was over and the war wasn't cool no more. So like Adventure Joe had to come, and then he was like, that's one of the ones where he was like digging in by the pyramids.
Listen, it happens to the best of us, bro. It happens to the best of us. We got to rebrand ourselves every now and then.
You have to reimagine the brand.
Woo!
I've done that myself,
Yeah, Intruder on roids. Yep. All right.
If I can mention real quick before you kick me out of here, Got a big show coming up. Bushwick, 300 Knickerbocker, second time around, September 12th. It's going to be an awesome day. There's going to be other dealers there. There's going to be like 3 or 4 more dealers, and it's a huge toy store out in Bushwick. 300 Knickerbocker from 1 to 7. Another Rat Bones extravaganza. Going to hit you in the head with it.
Good word. Good use. Good word. Good word. Extravaganza.
Hit you in the head with it. So
when is it? What's the date?
September 12th.
Okay, good.
I'll have all the new shirts in stock, and you can also hit me up if you want to get a shirt.
Okay. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Yep. Great seeing you.
See ya. What's up? What's up, boys and girls, kids of all ages? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, and Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards. I am not Rat Bones, so let me get that banner off. As much as you'd like me to be Rat Bones, it's like I am Malcolm X. I am Rat Bones. I am Rat Bones. I am Rat Bones. We are all Rat Bones. We're all bozos on this bus, right? We're all Rat Bones. Going to bring our guest on in a minute. What else do I got to announce? Let's just keep it moving, grooving. You know what? Let me mention real quick my Patreon page. If you're not on the Patreon page, please go and check it out. Where is that? There you go. So Patreon page, there's different tiers. Support the show. Support me as an artist. That's what makes this thing happen. I want to shout out a couple of my new patrons: Joe Nasso, John Harmon, James Papp, Rick Brust, Joel Hamlin, AJ Morocco. Yo, I'm AJ Morocco. Yo, I'm Drew, New York City. John Cusera, a.k.a. Johnny Rock. Yo, Johnny Rock. Hear me call in. Johnny Rock. Andre Harvey, Jay Fury from Furia 5 jumped on board. You know who's on my Patreon page who's supporting me as an artist? Todd Hamilton from Warzone. Jay Fury from Furia 5. Why am I drawing a blank? Matt Gray from the Controversial Antidote Band. Good Lord. So check out the Patreon thing if you haven't. I know there's a lot of lurkers out there. I know a lot of you motherfuckers are lurking. Stop being a lurker. You can't go through your whole life as a lurker. All right? Check in once in a while. Put in a comment. Say hi. Don't be a fucking weirdo. Oh, Mark Tulch from Canada. Hi, Mark Tulch from Canada. What did I want to? You know what? Let's keep it moving here. Let me clear the deck here. Let's bring on our guest. It's kind of a lurky. Don't be a lurker, son. Yo, son, don't be a lurker. It's creepy. Oh, yeah, I just posted some stuff on Patreon that I post. It's never been seen. I posted up on Patreon. I put some outtakes from my film that's on Netflix. Who the fuck is that guy? The Fabulous Journey of Michael Lago. I put some excerpts from the Johnny Rotten interview I did for that film. A Warzone, a whole complete Warzone set. Psychic Orgy, which had the guys from the Cro-Mags and Crumbsuckers and Carnivore. An outtake from the Elitist video I did for the take. Some old Biohazard shit. Never before seen stuff. That's what my Patreon page is about. I'm not putting it up on the internet so it gets passed around like what? Like what? What does it get passed around like? A creepy lurker? No. What does it get passed around like, people? What else? Oh, I just put Furia 5 up there that from them recording. And go check out the Patreon page. Be a patron. Support. All right? That said, yes, the Patreon is great. Get peeps, open that wallet. Good. Thank you. Sif. Crumbsuckers. Yeah, man. Okay. Like a pocket pussy. I'm not putting fill in the blanks. I am not putting my stuff up on the internet anymore because it gets passed around like a pocket pussy. Oh, that's one. Here you go. $2 Tijuana hooker. That's right. We have a winner. There you go. $5 whore. All right. What was Negan's bat named? Lucille. Same as B.B. King's guitar, right? Lucille. That's easy, man. Come on. Like a fleshlight. I'm going to hit you over the head with my fleshlight. Where is my fleshlight? All right. Now we're getting kooky. Let's bring our guest on. Let me get these banners off. You know, I know everybody likes to get silly. I like to get silly too. Please, banner, go away. Banner, banner, please, banner, banner. Banner, banner, please. All right. Everybody okay? Here you go. You're dying laughing. Don't, you know, I guess if you're going to die, you might as well die laughing, right? Oh, here you go. Get passed around like a joint at a Murphy's Law show. That's good. That's good. Kevin Haggerty. Get passed around like your mother on a Friday night. Oh, boy. Come on, bro. This is the guy that comes on my show and tells everybody that the Sepultura show just went live. What's the point of that, bro? Hey, by the way, this other show's on live too right now. Hey, David Olson in Minneapolis. What's up? Twin Cities represent. You know, all right. Stop it. Stop distracting me. I have a show to do. Today's guest is an American guitar player, bass player, and songwriter hailing from the great state of New Jersey. He is best known for his work in Shrapnel, Blitzspear, Murphy's Law, and of course for the past 22 years. 22 fucking years this motherfucker's been in this band. Monster Magnet. Please welcome one of the good guys. Red Bank, New Jersey represent, Mr. Phil Caivano. What's up?
What's happening, Drew?
Oh, you know, it's the struggle is real, bro.
Oh, it's real, right? That's struggle.
Wow. Oh my God.
You guys bring me back, man. Rap with the toys. Oh my God. It was great. Rap Bones, great to see him.
Yeah, man. We have a fun show. We got a nice little community here and around the world, and we have fun with it, man. So let's get cracking. We're gonna do boy, look at it. Whoa, wait, hold on. Big Phil. Are you big? Big Phil. You know, big guy, huh? There you go. Hail Monster Magnet.
Here we go.
I like this. Phil Holy Christ.
That's me. Yeah.
All right. What's up, Andrew? I hope you're well, buddy. Phil, live, love it. Listen, you got a little bit of a fan base here, bro.
I'll take it.
Tell us what was going on. I think we chatted about this. You were on one of the very early shows, but just for a couple minutes as a special guest.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about what happened when the shit hit the fan, you know, and the zombies started biting people. Weren't you guys about to go out on the road? Tell us about what
well, yeah. So, you know, we were over in Europe back in January through February. We came back early March, and, you know, we had an American tour booked, and, you know, 2 weeks later, everything off, you know, and we were really excited to, you know, we go to Europe quite a bit, and we're looking forward to the American tour because it was an extension of the European tour. We were touring the Power Trip record, you know, and we were really excited about it. And, you know, and then everything happened and everything got shut down. And I'd have to say we were pretty fortunate that Dave Windorf was really in tune with what was going on, and he just made the call to just like postpone it.
Right.
To just postpone it. And we're lucky and fortunate to reschedule everything for late January through February. But, you know, we don't, you know, so everything's booked. We'll be touring the States when it's time to tour the States. Right now, we're just we're in the studio right behind me, and, you know, our other spot that we have here in Jersey, our drummer Bob Pantella has, making a record. You know, we don't have any, we're not really worried about it. You know, I know we can't worry about it because this is where we're at right now. You know, The Magnet is really good, and myself, we're really good at like what's on hand, what can we do? We can record, we can make music, we can put it out. When it's time to tour, we can get out there and tour. Hopefully everybody's safe. I hope everybody out there who's on the show and listening, their loved ones, family and friends and everybody, all the above, are safe and healthy. It's a crazy time. You know, I've known people who've passed away because of this, and it's just a crazy thing that's going on in the last 6 months. But, you know, like I said, we're doing our thing.
Yeah, you know, this is our buddy Joe James checking in. He plays in Silver Tomb, right?
Yeah.
And I guess Silver Tomb was going to go out with you guys, right?
Yeah, we were so excited about that. You know,
damn, man,
some time with those guys. I love those guys. That's a great crew, right?
Yeah,
there.
we love Joe James. He's
and Kenny and
yep,
yeah, you know, John Kelly. You know, it's just what a great crew. You know, like we like to have fun on tour. You know, Magnet is one of the. We feel like, you know, Dave and I feel really, really. You know, we're lucky that we get to do what we love to do after all these years. You know, like, you know, you posted that shrapnel thing. I mean, I'm over here falling down on my chair. You know, like, to play in a band with somebody that I've known since 1975, and we started that band in 76. You know, late 76, early 77, and, you know, we're still doing it. You know, there's not a lot of people who really get to do that, you know, and we actually can sit in the same room and talk to each other. You know what I mean? We could go to the diner and have a cup of coffee and a sandwich and talk about everything but music. And that's what, you know, it's all about. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, because here's a picture of Shrapnel, and you guys are pretty much teenagers here, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I know, who's that on the left?
On the left, all the way on my left, that's Dave Vogt.
And then you, and that's you, and then Dave, and then Dave, and then Daniel Ray, who's
Daniel Ray, yeah,
had a really proficient career as a producer, of course.
Great friend, great.
Yeah.
Daniel. And that's the guy in the back was our drummer, Dan Clayton, who still lives here locally in Jersey, hasn't played music in a long time. Unfortunately, Dave Vogt had passed away about between 10 and 15 years ago, you know. But the funny story with this is that, you know, when Rat was showing that little water gun, you know, like
yeah, right.
In the early days, we were up in New Haven, Connecticut playing, and we used to bring all these props, sandbags, fake guns. You know, we got pulled over by the cops, and they saw all these toy guns and shit. And then we had Dave had this replica, a full-on replica of a 1911, you know, 1911 pistol. Ooh. And they pulled it out. They thought it was real. They had us up against the wall. The cops got guns at our backs, and I'm like a 14-year-old kid going, what the fuck is going on, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, like, for those that might be, you know, might not know, I just want to say that in a certain regard, like, Shrapnel was sort of like, you guys were kind of like being touted a little bit. You were sort of like the Ramones, like the Ramones of New Jersey, kind of, right? I mean, not, you know, in a certain way.
That's a stretch, but like, the thing is, we got associated with the Ramones, like, and that's great that this single you have here up now, that's a dressing room at Max's Kansas City.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's upstairs at Max's. So what kind of happened was in those early days, we played an audition night at CBGB's under a different name. We were not Shrapnel yet. And, you know, we were like these teenage kids from here in Red Bank, and CBGB's, you know, we had been going there a little bit, and we did the audition night, and it was like 4 a.m. And the people in the crowd that were left were like Dee Dee Ramone, Joey Ramone, Stiv Bators, Cheetah Chrome, Arturo Vega, and
wow.
Lake Neal, and a couple other people. So we're playing these original songs, and we, you know, what the fuck were we doing?
And how old were you at the time?
I was 14.
14?
14.
Were you the youngest guy in the band?
I was the youngest guy in the band. I'm still the youngest guy in the band. No,
I mean, 14, man. Like, what?
Yeah, but here's where the connection with the Ramones come in. Arturo Vega was very instrumental in helping us out. So after we played an MC5 song, and everybody was like, who are these little kids playing MC5? And they came up to the front and they were like,
right.
I mean, that was one of my favorite things about the Dead Boys, was that those guys being from Ohio, it was like an extension of the Stooges. We were really influenced by the Stooges, MC5, all that stuff, kind of like pre-punk.
Right.
So went over to our tours, and the next day we woke up and our name was Shrapnel. And our tour was making this little combat, these little things for us. And legs, we were crashing on the couch at Punk Magazine, helping,
wow.
really early. Yeah. So, I was around a lot of that stuff, It was really
you touched on something here, and I want to tie it in with the photo of the day. So let's bring on Steven Messina. What's up, buddy?
What's up? How's everybody doing?
Are you the conductor on that train right now? Is that train? Are you at the helm of that train?
No, I'm actually in the middle. I'm in the opposite the conductor's cab. This is a nice spot here, and it's kind of out of the way.
I like when you do this. It's other than in the storage shed. I like this a lot.
Me too. Me too.
So let's do photo of the day with our guest Phil Caivano, and I know these photos might be a little challenged, but here's the first one. Phil, you recognize this guy?
Oh yeah, that's Cheetah.
Yeah, and and here's another one. There's another one here too, and I want to talk about this guy, and here, and then there's this. So, Steven, tell us a little bit about. We know obviously that's Cheetah Chrome.
This is actually pretty cool. This is 2008 at Don Hills, and this is not only is it Cheetah Chrome, it's Cheetah Chrome and the Blackhearts, and at Don Hills in the city, and which was a pretty cool thing.
The Blackhearts meaning like Black
Joan Jett's band, yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, this was a pretty cool, and it was like a special occasion. I think it was someone's birthday, and it was like one of those birthday party shows. And I remember the two bands that I really was there to see was the Cheetah and a band called Action City Blackout that I really liked.
I've never heard of them.
I honestly, I had gotten the EP, saw them, and never saw or heard from them again. Right. And I really liked the band, and it was a girl singer, and they went on right before him. And again, I don't know anyone else who's even seen them or heard them, but I do still have the EP, and I really like it.
Cool.
But Cheetah was great with the Blackhearts. It was great. They did all the classics and everything, and it was really. It's hard to believe that this is already 22 years ago. I mean,
yeah. So Phil, tell us a little bit about Cheetah, the Dead Boys, and the kind of influence they had on you guys. I know a little bit of the backstory. We've been friends a long time. I know you guys used to come on these pilgrimages, come into the city. You guys loved the Dead Boys, right?
Well, I love the Dead Boys. The first band I ever saw at CBGB's was the Dead Boys. It was the Dead Boys opening up for the Dictators, but the Dead Boys had this thing where I said it was like, them being from the Midwest, we were really into the Detroit thing. And I saw their photo in the back of Punk Magazine. I was like, wow, I got to see this band. And, they just came out and they delivered every time. And through that, we were lucky enough to, in those days, CBGB's would have a long weekend. And we played a weekend. Shrapnel played a weekend with the Dead Boys one time. And, CB's in those days, too, it was 2 sets a night. So seeing those guys in their prime right at the first record, and that DVD that's out, that
1977.
Yeah, I was at all those shows in the front row with my best friend, Doug McLaren. Man, we were just like going nuts for the Dead Boys. The bands that really were my favorites back then were Dead Boys, Cramps, Ramones, so many, Dead Boys, Cramps, Ramones. I liked
Suicide.
Suicide, forget it. Suicide changed my life. Alan Vega, forget it.
It's interesting. It's interesting because I saw Suicide as probably, I was a young teenager, and man, that shit flew right over my head, man.
Oh, man.
We made fun of it. We thought it was the funniest shit ever.
Well, like the thing for me is you got to remember, like I had an older cousin who turned me on to a lot of stuff. I think that the band that really changed my life was the Velvet Underground. When I was listening to Velvet Underground as a kid, it really that evolved into all the other stuff. And there was a lot of other stuff that Dave, Windorf and there's a couple other guys, Mark the Mother Chesley. He had a record label out here called Mother Records. Like we'd have these like record listening parties. And there were all these really obscure bands from all over the place listening to garage rock. And that was kind of like the extension of punk rock for us. Punk rock kind of like it evolved. I mean, I saw Lou Reed in 75, Patti Smith in 75, like all these, I saw Bowie in 74. And, the hard rock thing was kind of dying down. And what I can, what I can explain about CB's, what was so fucking amazing about that spot, and a few other spots. Max's, I think, flies under the radar. But everybody's CBGBs. Well, how about Max's Kansas City? Like Max's Kansas City was fucking phenomenal. But CB's had this pinball machine. Here I am, this teenager. We're playing pinball, and a guy goes to put his change to play in back of you, and it's Stiv Bators. A guy goes to put his change on back of you, it's Dee Dee Ramone. The guy puts his change on back of you, it's Brian Gregory from the Cramps. It was like kind of mind blowing. And so what that gave us guys, the ability that like, those big stages seemed like it was kind of far away, but then that stage was right there and we could just do what the fuck we wanted.
Yeah.
That was great about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, forget it.
I want to throw this up while we're here. This is me and Cheetah Chrome in the equipment room at SIR, where I interviewed him for Who the Fuck Is That Guy? The Fabulous Journey of Michael Alago, and which is on Netflix now. And I got to put this one up too while we're at it. This is from the film. This is a shot from 1977. This is Michael Alago with, of course, Cheetah Chrome and Johnny Blitz, who played drums. And, Alago followed them around as a teenager and
president of the fan club.
That's right. He was president of the fan club. And he was president. That's right. He was president of the Dead Boys fan club.
Well, and real quick, I'll mention the other thing that happened back then for me with the punk rock stuff was, I mentioned my friend Doug. Doug's my best friend my whole life. He went on a trip to England with his father and to go to the UK, and they were from Scotland, but they spent some time in London. And Doug brought home these records that were like, we heard about the Sex Pistols through the grapevine, but he was the first time I heard the Sex Pistols. He brought back the Clash record, and then I know it's unorthodox to say this, but I'll say it anyway. He brought back the first Screwdriver record, and he saw Screwdriver. He saw Screwdriver in the UK before all the nonsense.
Yeah,
so we had these little records, that we were like listening to as teenagers, and it was kind of amazing. It was kind of like, wow, that's going on there. This is going on. Like this thing became for real. It became for real. It was very young and it was very cool. A lot of fun.
Cool.
A lot of fucking fun.
Hey, Steven, where are you moving? Where are you going?
The train is moving. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, no, that's okay. I knew it's moving. I have to run to the other yard to handle something. But
hey, listen. Hey, thank you for picture of the day, bro.
Listen.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out a buddy of mine named Greg Gora. Him and I used to go see Blitzspeer all the time, and we were talking this morning about it. So it's really cool to to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you.
And I sent you some pictures from a while back, and I'll be here listening. But in the meantime, see everybody later.
Hey,
Greg is amazing. Greg is amazing. His band Chronic Sick, and we had a band out here called The Worst, and like we had this whole little Jersey thing going on that was pretty phenomenal with Mother Records. Mark did a lot of great stuff. He put out some great records, and those records are highly, highly collectible.
Cool.
And it was just a fun time.
Hey, Steven, we'll see you in a little while.
I'll see you later.
All right. There you have it. That's our boy. That is the hardcore shutterbug Steven Messina. A big part of what makes this show great, man. He's a trooper, man, and I'm fortunate to have guys like him and Rat Bones and Sid and stuff like that. We mentioned, I put this photo up. Let me put it up again. This photo of Alago and the Dead Boys. Now, there's a tie-in here with Alago and Shrapnel, right? Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, after we were around for a while, and Michael was around. Michael started booking the Ritz, and as things, we went from Legs managing us to Danny Fields and Linda Stein for a very short amount of time, who had managed the Ramones, and that was short-lived. And then Michael was around, man. Michael was everywhere, and he started booking all these shows at the Ritz, and he got his job at Elektra Records, and we were the first band he signed.
Wow.
Yep.
So for those that might have seen the film and know who Alago is and all that, Alago becomes an A&R executive at Elektra Records, I think at 21 years old, and the first band he signs to Elektra Records is Shrapnel. The second band he signs to Elektra Records is Metallica, right?
Yeah, and so those guys went like this, and we went like that. But that was a good time,
Yeah.
All timing. It's all fun. It's all experiences, Like that was a really interesting time in my life.
Bro, you were what at that point? 17 years old?
Yeah, I was in my later teens at that point.
Oh, you were an old man by then, huh?
I was done by then, but it's really to tie things in. So at that point, I was kind of very frustrated with Shrapnel, and we all kind of were. We were like the kind of fun stuff. It wasn't as fun anymore.
Right.
And I was getting really influenced by a lot of stuff. My favorite band at that time was GBH. I was obsessed with GBH, and I was going, and I started to get obsessed with the early days of hardcore. I started to there was something else bubbling. Punk rock had been dead. A lot of people talk about punk rock being like that time period in New York was actually, when you look at it historically, it wasn't a long period of time, right? So things started bubbling up downtown, and the Bad Brains came in. Shrapnel played some shows with the Bad Brains, but it was kind of, for me, it was the extension of that. Like my favorite bands of that time were I love GBH. Me and my buddies were obsessed. The bands I really liked back then, I loved Reagan Youth. I loved Agnostic Front.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Agnostic Front.
Yeah.
When I saw and I'll tie this in, and I loved the Cro-Mags, and I loved the early Murphy's Law days. I was like this leftover punk kid, and then this other guys around my age and a little bit younger were starting this new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And things are getting more aggressive and faster and louder and like all this other stuff. But what I can tell you that I remember Vinny Stigma walking around and coming to shows. And how could I not remember Harley Flanagan? Harley, so I was young, and Harley was younger than me, and I used to go see the Stimulators, so he was like this kid back there. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really, really amazing. So as that kind of died out for me, and I was into a whole nother thing, I was doing a lot of bad stuff, but as I started having more interest, I wanted to find something underground, and it was right at my fingertips, right? So,
didn't you move into the city around this time?
Yeah, I moved into the city. I moved into the Lower East Side at that time. So I was around
which at the time was very vibrant.
Yeah, late 70s. Late 70s, early 80s.
Avenue A, adventurous. B, beware. C, caution. D, dead. No, C, crazy.
And I was down on D, and I was down on C, and
Yeah.
But the tie-in with the Stimulators is really, really important for hardcore, because of what evolved after that, you know. And I'm not saying anybody started it or anybody, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of people involved, and I'm not going to claim to know too much about that. But I had this visual connection. I had the visual of Vinny Stigma. You know, Vinny was around. I know he was at Shrapnel shows. How could I forget that guy? And Harley, you know, so these were these guys. And so then when I remember walking in and seeing Agnostic Front on stage with Roger and Vinny on stage, I was like, I loved it. I loved the aggression. Like I loved what was going on. And the other band that it turns out, this is another funny thing that now that I'm friends with the guy, after a lot of years and a lot of his other bands, a guy I really, really love in music is John Brannon. And I love Negative Approach.
You too? Me?
But the thing with John is that Laughing Hyenas, you know, Easy Action, the stuff he's done after that.
Yeah.
And then when I talk to John and we text message and laugh and we, you know, we were influenced by the same stuff, all the glam rock, all this, you know, all this, like our record collections are like exact.
Yeah.
And I don't want to dwell on this too, but the other funny thing is you played Combat Love, you know, a couple of years back. Roger texted me, it's like, hey, you know, do you know where I can get a Combat Love single? And I was like, you know, Roger really loved he liked Shrapnel, you know, and he really liked that single. So I went through my stuff. I was like, I gotta find one for Roger, for anybody. If I could get
Roger's a really proficient collector. He's really a rabid. He's made a reputation for himself as an obsessive record and flyer and memorabilia collector. I've been to his house. I've seen his stuff.
Yeah, and in hardcore, you know, like Roger and Vinny, you know, it just, they're so important, you know, and like I don't want to get into all that stuff, but like and all the other guys too, there's so many people like I love Sick of It All, you know what I mean, because of their longevity. How could you not admire that? How could you not, like I'm just talking about as a musician, you know, as a musician, like we talked about, you mentioned me playing in Magnet for 22 years. We got some guys who've been playing and doing it together for a long time. I try to look at the positive in this whole thing, you know. But it gave me a lot of joy and made me very, very happy to be able to send an original copy of that Roger for the collection.
Not that we want to delve into this, but is that right? You've played guitar on both Agnostic Front and Stigma records. Can you make that claim?
Yeah, I you know, through
you know, you like to play yourself off as this kind of rock guy and this and that, but you're behind. You're doing it in the hardcore scene.
You know, like look at man. I was around. You know, again, I was more around it than in it. You know, and I was
I know
by it, and I love those guys. Look at I roadied for the Cro-Mags on a trip to New England one time.
I mean, and you played in Murphy's Law. We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that in a minute. But like, yeah. So the other guy who is like, I could show you my Hoxie poster over here, Mike Gallo. I love Mike Gallo. Mike Gallo and Vinny and those guys, they're like real true friends, you know. And,
hey, can I okay, let's finish this thought.
So you know, after, you know, at one point Magnet was taking a break, and a producer I worked for in LA who produced the Magnet records, Matt Hyde, he got hired. He got hired to work with Hatebreed. Right. And so and that's a whole nother group of guys who I just adore. Great people. Forget about bands, you know, forget about hardcore. Let's talk about people. You know, those Jamie, Beatty, Sean Martin, Wayne, Burnsy, everybody I've met through that crew is just amazing. So, you know, I was up there working on this Hatebreed record up in Massachusetts, and these two guys walk in and they were like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "My name is Phil. I'm here to work on your record." But so the tie-in with that was, you asked about the Stigma stuff. You know, I started working with Hatebreed a little bit in the studio, and that led to, you know, Gallo and Jamie and I writing a record for Vinny. And we did the 2 Stigma records, and it was just really, really some of the most fun times of my recording career. Working with Vinny Stigma in the studio, is the most amazing thing. You'll either
Did you
pull
do
all
it?
your hair out, you either pull all your hair out, or just laugh. But basically, making those Stigma records were like,
Did you do it in your studio out there in Red Bank, in your place?
most of it. Yeah, we did it a little.
And here's a comment from our boy Larry the Hunter, who plays in Stigma. Says, "Me and the Stigma guys love Phil. He's the best."
Oh, Larry's great. I mean, you know, like there's just so many connections. But like when I worked with Vinny and Mike and Jamie on those records, and we did it at Billy and Danny from Biohazard had a studio.
Oh yeah, Rat Piss Studios, that place.
The first one was the drums are recorded there. The
Yeah.
rest of it was recorded here. The second one we used my buddy's place in Long Branch. But it was just like friends getting together, and all of a sudden a record happened.
Yeah,
It's kind of brilliant.
cool. So hang with me a second. Let me shout out the sponsors, and we'll come back and let's talk about Blitzspeer a little bit. I know I see Keith Bennett out there posted a couple comments, and we'll come back and we'll get into a little Blitzspeer and some Murphy's Law and some Monster Magnet. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, what's up? You know what this is. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles live from Florida right now. Sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, and Chain Reaction Records. The Organic Grill is a vegan restaurant located in the East Village of New York City at 123 First Avenue. Featured in New York Magazine, the New York Times, and Veg News. Their dishes have won numerous awards, including Best Veggie Burger. They make their own cheeses, sausages, and burger patties, and every dish on the menu could be made gluten-free. I know you want to hear it. For all you gluten-free motherfuckers. This year they are celebrating, wait for it. This year they are celebrating their 20th anniversary, and they're all about having a great time while enjoying amazing clean food. After 3 months of being closed, they're now open for deliveries. All you gluten-free motherfuckers. Get in touch with them and order some great fucking food at www.theorganicgrill.com. Also, while we're at it, how about New York Hardcore Comics? They opened back in 2013 when lifelong friends Debo the Pro and Lee Fairley combined their collections and obsessions for comic books, punk rock, toys, statues, magic, the gathering, and all things horror. The store is located at 117 Main Street in lovely Dobbs Ferry, New York. If you want to support them during this pandemic, please contact them via email at newyorkhardcorecomics@gmail.com or any social media channel. That said, a couple of other things. Watching from Holland, a lurker comes forward. Here's to you, Cornet, in Holland. Like my Holland glass? A lurker comes forward. Welcome, brother. You know? Now you're hungry. Listen, if you're in the city, call the Organic Grill. There you go. To have Vinny Stigma sing with us on our yes. Speaking of Vinny Stigma, speaking of Vinny Stigma and Mike Gallo and everything else, we have a special bonus show coming up. Announcing it here first. This is a special bonus show. This is in celebration of, let me get rid of that banner. This is in celebration of the upcoming live streaming show that's coming out of the Bowery Electric. That's Stigma, Antidote, New York Hardcore. Ooh, drama. God damn, unbelievable. Stigma, Antidote, NYHC, and The Craze. This is a special bonus show. It's Friday, September 4th. We're going to have Vinny Stigma on the show, Mike Gallo, and Larry the Hunter from Stigma. We're going to have Tristan DeGraves and Matt Gray on from Antidote NYHC. And we're going to have a bunch of the guys from The Craze on the show. So, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Anytime we have Stigma on the show, it's fun. And listen, we all know this is a benefit that we're all doing here. Save our stages. And we're trying to help out Jesse Malin and the New York and the Bowery Electric and A7. And this is really your opportunity. Everyone goes, well, what can I do to help A7 and Bowery Electric? Yo, stream the show. It's $10. The link is on there. Please purchase a ticket for this show. www.boweryelectric.com. Yes, Antidote NYHC's on the bill. Drama. God damn, man. Unbelievable. That said, what are you doing, Adika? Don't be coming on my show starting trouble, bro. What's the matter? Your show's over? You're coming here to steal my guests? Better knock it off. Is there another antidote out there? There's a lot of antidotes out there. Many, many antidotes. There's an antidote in Holland. There's an antidote jazz band. There's an antidote band, whatever. But we are Antidote New York Hardcore. That's right. Bring the drama. You know, that's been going on. There's been a lot of chirping, and we haven't really said much about it. We're not really going to say much about it. We don't really want to get into it. You know, it's an ugly situation. And we're just trying to move on and play music and do what we love doing. I've been singing for Antidote for 37 years. I sing on everything except 8 songs. The other guys have been combined. We have 50 years in the band. So we're rebranding ourselves and moving on. Those guys, I don't say those guys, but we're moving on, and they can, whoever, they're welcome to use the Antidote name. We're moving on, and we've rebranded. But anyway, yes, the antidote. I know we need, you know, yes, and we are playing with Tom Capone. Tom Capone's playing guitar with Antidote NYHC. I would do it. Tom doesn't want to, he doesn't want to get on camera. He doesn't want to come on the show, you know? Yeah, there's an Antidote in Holland. But yeah, you know what? Just real quick, thanks everybody that's really supportive, man. It's an ugly situation, man. It sucks. You know, drugs and alcohol suck. Mental illness sucks. But drugs and alcohol fuck up everything. But we're not going to get into that now. We got a show to do there. What drama? Everybody under 50 had a circus of power phase. Not sure what you're talking about, Keith, but that said, you know, let me bring Phil back on. Hey, Phil.
What's happening, guys?
Yo, Keith Bennett, so let's talk about this a little bit. The mighty Blitzspeer. So
okay, yeah. What do you want to know?
Well, you know, how did it come to be? And you fucking listen. You have a penchant for being signed to major fucking labels. You got signed to Epic, right?
Yeah, yeah. That and rubbing 2 nickels together. You know, it actually kind of ties into what we were just talking about. So I was hanging around all those guys. I loved what I was seeing. Another band that was very influential on me in particular was Corrosion of Conformity. The early Corrosion of Conformity before, like when they were coming up to do the matinees and everything. I mean, man, rest in peace. Love the guy, Reed. Seeing these guys, man, they hit the Lower East Side, and everybody had a COC patch. Everybody COC. And I thought they were great, and lots of bands, One thing that went on with me, and a lot of guys don't know, and it just came to mind, I started getting the itch to play, and I was kind of done with the whole shrapnel thing, and I was hanging around, A7, I was hanging around CBs and all that. I roadied a trip with the Mags, and I loved being around those guys, Harley was what a single-handed most talented person I've ever met and been in a room with. The way he could play and write, and then John at the same time, it was great. I'm not going down that road, but I'm just saying I love both of them. It's like I was very influenced by that, and I wanted to start playing, and I wanted to start playing again. I wanted to do something different. I actually played 2 shows with a band called Kraut.
Oh, wow.
Guitar. And a lot of people don't know that. I loved Kraut. I played 2 shows on guitar. A girl I knew was friends with them, and they, Dougie had made the move over to the Cro-Mags, and they were looking to play some shows. Only 2 little shows. I rehearsed with them at this place on Avenue B.
Was that you played his second guitar, or is that when Doug already left for the Cro-Mags?
Doug already left. The Cro-Mags were going strong. And we played a show at the Pyramid, and we played one show at CBGB's.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, well, now you know. So now, but what happened at that point was I was really itching to do something, and Crossover was going on. There was Crumb Suckers, all these bands were playing. And I came down to Jersey, and I was hanging out. I came down for a weekend, and I went to the Brighton Bar that your friend mentioned. And a guy I had met and was friends with, Four-Way, from the band Bad Posture.
Yes, of course.
Was down here, and he had this band, and they were looking for someone to play. I went to see them, and it was fun, and it was great. So we tried to have this band. It was Four-Way, Scotty Angelano from Blitzspear.
Wow.
This drummer that they had, and we were like, okay, well, what we're going to do, we need some members. Like, how are we going to do this? And it all fell apart. I was really fucked up in those days. A lot of, that was a bad time of my life, but a good time of my life because it transitioned into something better. We kind of put Scotty and I together, and we were like, our favorite band was Motorhead. So we figured if we didn't have any songs yet, so we figured if a guy can come in and play a Motorhead song, he'd be the right guy for our band.
Right.
So that's how that evolved. It didn't work out with Four-Way. We stayed really good friends with him. And I ended up having to take an exit. And I had to get my shit together. And that was when I cleaned up. And I called Scotty about 8 months after that. He goes, well, I met this other guy, Kurt Fleck, and I didn't know Kurt at the time. And he goes, don't bring your bass. Those days I was playing bass with that. And he goes, bring a guitar. And we started Blitzspear. And that's how Blitzspear started. And we were around, and it was another electric time in New York.
Can I let me interject here that our old friend Joe Bruno is chiming in saying, Phil, what's good, Louis? Rest in peace, Frankie LaRocca. That's
yo, New York City.
Yo, it's the mighty Blitzspear. Actually, wait, hold on. This is for you, Joe Bruno. Hold on. What's up? Right?
Joe.
Come on.
So we started playing around, and we were lucky. The Chrome. We played some shows with the Mags. We played a couple of shows with AF. We were at CB's a lot, but the scene that we got, kind of evolved into was the Lower East Side scene, Lismar Lounge.
Of course.
Lismar Lounge. A7 turned into the Wawa Hut. We were Wawa Hut, Pyramid.
Yeah.
Club, Cat Club.
And I always sort of associated you a little bit with Circus of Power. They were sort of in the same vein.
Yeah, all the same vein. Circus of Power.
Hold on. Can I reel off a couple of those bands from that era? Because
you remember more than me.
Okay. Blitzspear, Circus of Power, Princess Pang, the Throbs, Raging Slab. These were, and all these bands got picked up by major labels. Raging Slab was great.
Great band. Don't even get me started on that. I thought they were going to be the biggest thing ever. They were better than any band.
Yeah.
But we were really influenced by what else was going on around the country. There was a lot of really good things going on at that time musically. Like I mentioned John before, the Laughing Hyenas. When I saw the Laughing Hyenas, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, all bets are off. That was such a great fucking band, not that we weren't anything like that. And we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun,
Yeah.
It was a great time of my life,
And let me go a little deep here. Let me let me say this. You guys get signed to Epic, right?
Yeah.
And the first release you did was this, which is it a pseudo live album? Wasn't really. That was
the only thing overdubbed on that record was a couple of vocal tracks. There was a couple of bass tracks because they were out of tune.
Right.
And that was it.
And would you multi-track it live at the Limelight?
We had a mobile unit outside on the side of the road on 21st Street.
Who produced this on the run like that?
This guy Peter Denenberg.
Right.
Peter Denenberg, Frankie LaRocca, who actually was the drummer for David Johansen for a long time. Yeah. Frankie had a long history in the music business,
Sure.
Frankie was great to us. But Frankie and Peter Dannenberg, they captured the whole thing live, and that was it.
Now, it always seemed a little odd that oh yeah, and of course Keith, our boy Keith Bennett up in Boston, Panzer Bastard, who I got to say, Keith and his band, hugely influenced by Motorhead, big Motorhead. Of course, if you love Motorhead, you love Blitzspear, you love Circus Power. We're all, as I do, we're all in that same family. But Pusshead, this was Pusshead art, right? That's a hardcore connection.
Yeah,
right?
that's one of my, Pusshead really liked us a lot, and that he pulled this is one of the things, when you get pissed off at stuff from your past, and you get mad and you think about it and you get like fucking pissed off. Well, Pusshead did us a favor, and he did that art for us, and so he worked out a deal with Epic that he wanted the band to own the artwork. He wanted us to own the original artwork so we could do whatever we wanted with it.
Nice.
We worked out this deal, right?
Yeah.
Well, some fucking jackass, jerk off, cocksucker, scumbag. Don't even get me started. At Epic, stole the original artwork, and we never got our hands on it.
Wow, that sucks.
So the original Pusshead art is in somebody's, probably some dude who the fuck knows where. But
this is it. That's what we're looking at here, right?
That's what we're looking at right there. Yep.
Oh, it's beautiful too, man. God damn.
Yeah. The original Pusshead. He liked our whole thing. He was great to us.
So you guys, I just want to throw this in the mix. This is recorded at the Limelight, and then when it comes time for you guys to play the Limelight again, as a release thing, we were on the bill, and we played together. And I remember this is, what's the date on this? 5/20/90, wow. And so I remember we played.
I remember that.
Yeah, and we were great. And then you guys came out and you guys ruled. It was your moment. The record just came out and the place was packed. Then the Limelight used to get packed. This was packed to the gills, man. I couldn't even get down. I remember trying to get down the stairs. It took me 20 minutes, and you guys were on stage and you guys just crushed it, man.
I mean, that was the thing with us guys. It's like I took a page, like I was lucky around the end of Shrapnel to meet Lemmy. And I always just took a page out of Lemmy's book, was just like, I know we were what we were. We weren't the greatest band in the world, but we figured if we could just turn everything up really, really fucking loud, we're going to make something happen. We're going to make something happen with pure volume, and I always love that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, hold on, Limelight brings back a lot of memories, right? Remember, we had good times.
Another memory of that time, there's another band back then that I loved, was Gary Sharon. He had the band.
Extreme.
No.
Gary Sharon?
No. Citron.
Gary Cintron.
Yes.
Kenny's brother.
Ying versus Yang.
Oh, there was Yin versus Yang, but Gary Cintron sang for the Steel Empire first.
Yes.
Yeah.
They used to all hang out. So Scotty and I had a place called Top Cat Studios.
Yeah.
And those guys, and Artie, the bass player, used to work there too. So we all got very, very close. And those guys, they played a lot of shows with us too. I loved Gary.
Yeah, listen, Gary passed away very young, sadly.
Yep.
It's very, very. Yeah, Steel Empire. Listen, listen. Don't make me go. Listen, don't make me go into the fucking Stone Films archive. Hold on a second.
But those guys were so fun. The Uptown Kids, and it was. I mean, being from Jersey, I didn't hang around a lot with that. Puerto Rican guys from Uptown. Man, it was fucking awesome. They're bringing we had such a blast at Top Cat. It was like our clubhouse. Circus of Power used to rehearse there. So many bands rehearsed there. And, Slab was in a couple times. And we just, it was like a clubhouse vibe. So that was.
Here you go. Here's a good one. This is from.
Oh, my God.
Deep in the Stone Films NYC archives. I think this was taken with a Polaroid Instamatic camera. I borrowed it from my dad. When you take, this is the Steel Empire at the Lismar Lounge, bro.
Wow. Lismar.
Wow. Look at that. Look, right. Can you recognize? Look at behind the drums. It's the Lismar.
Wow. I love it. Wow. Stone pulling them out.
Listen, and one more, because listen, Gary was a good friend of mine. He passed away very young. Here's one of the great Steel Empire flyers.
Amazing.
They had great flyers because Barry Krause played bass and he was an artist, you know. But yeah, Kenny Cintron's still around.
I talked to Kenny. I talked to Kenny. I love Kenny.
Kenny's a colorful character.
Love him. You
Yep.
know? But anyway, all that stuff is very precious and dear to me. You know,
Yeah.
like that time period. You know, and I was still stayed friends with a couple of different eras of my life. You know what I mean? Between the rock that, the best thing that ever happened in my life was when I saw, Black Sabbath in 1975 in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Like we had a club out here called the Fast Lane, Black Flag, like Black Flag, all these bands, all these connections to different things were really important to me musically. And carrying a lot of that into like the whole Blitzspear thing, we never ended up with the right producer. And
I wanted to ask you, the second record, Blitzspear Saves, is a studio record, right? That's the second epic record.
Yeah.
And then you changed drummers, and then it sort of faded out, right?
Yeah. What happened was, we had to replace the drummer, and it was never quite the same. If I told you the list of producers I put on that list to have them work with us, every one of those producers went on to do something great. I knew we needed help. We couldn't do it on our own. We needed help with songs. We needed help with arrangements. I couldn't sing. I don't know what the fuck I was doing in the studio back then, but we had a lot of fun, and that's all that matters, And then it evolved into after that, we turned into a three-piece for a little while, and we had David Ratt on drums, who was from a band Rat at Rat R, because I kind of was into that whole scene too. The kind of noise thing was going on, and that's where White Zombie came from, and like all this other stuff, Lydia Lunch, like all these things. All these things were going on, and New York was just like a great place to be at that time.
Absolutely, and it was. I think that part of it too. I think was sort of the. Maybe when Blitzspear towards the end there, and at the time with Antidote, we were doing the rock thing too, Circus of Power, and I think different music came in. I remember the grunge thing came in, and things really kind of changed there for a minute, and
then at that time, I have to tell you what was really like amazing. Like what was the place on Avenue A? There was a Wawa Hut, of course.
The Pyramid.
The Pyramid, of course, but the other bar, Aztec was up.
Save the Robots?
Not Save the Robots. I couldn't go there because bad things would happen.
Listen, man, Save the Robots. That was a personal favorite of mine for a long time.
Not the Aztec, but the Cycle Sluts Girls, Raphael.
On Avenue A?
On Avenue A. On St. Mark's and Avenue A. What was the name of that place?
Oh.
Alcatraz.
Yeah, Alcatraz.
But Alcatraz was the
world. Hi, Cindy. How you doing, Cindy? The world. Remember the world?
The world was great, but that whole little juncture was like everybody hung out. Hardcore bands, rock band, this band. Everybody hung out. We're all friends. We're all like supporting each other's music. Do you know what I mean? Everybody was like, well, if somebody had a show, it didn't matter what music it was, you would support your friend because they were an artist.
For sure. And we would all hang out. I think I spent 5 years of my life hanging out on the corner of Avenue A and St. Mark's, literally.
Park. And then when that was also too, what was really, really great about the Wawa Hut was, it was A7. Yeah. And that's around that time. And I'll have to mention too, I remember going to see Jesse's band back then, I saw Hope, I saw Heart Attack. And, I remember meeting Jesse back then, and Jesse had the van.
Right.
Jesse was driving us around, man. Jesse had that van, man. And he was like the guy you called when you had a show and you had to move some gear, So a lot of love for Jesse going back.
Hey, absolutely, man.
And Jesse, he does a lot, and I really respect it and appreciate what he does to keep it going, as well with you, Drew, doing your show here to keep. There's a lot of history with people, and I like to look at that I mentioned before, the good history, You know, to me, there is no drama. There's no drama if you don't get involved with it. You know what I mean?
That means a lot coming from you, man. It really does. I respect what you've done for years, and we're going to get into some personal stuff as well. But speaking of Jesse, you know, let me just throw this in the mix here. This live streaming show that we're doing, it's Stigma, Antidote, NYHC, and the Craze, is really to benefit Jesse at the Bowery Electric and A7, a guy that has given us a platform. You know, we've resurrected the A7 as a hardcore venue, and Jesse's been there for us. And, you know, we're doing this. It's important, man. We're going to lose these fucking venues in New York City. So, you know what? Check this out. I don't give a fuck if, you know, this whole Antidote thing, yes, no, doesn't fucking matter. Just support this fucking show. So get on the, you know, support the show, support Jesse, you know, fuck the drama. You know, we're doing something while everybody's on the internet going, la, 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 la. We're actually fucking playing and doing a benefit for Save Our Stages. So everybody, please, you know, Stigma's on the bill. So are we. So are the Craze. You know, there you go. Oh, that's you. Oh, Martyred Artist. Oh, that's you, buddy, Robert. A lot of our program friends are checking in today, huh? Okay, that's cool. Yes, Cindy, absolutely, man.
Is that Cindy Lou? That's Cindy Villano right there.
Yeah.
Cindy.
Yes, our old friend, man. That is awesome. Nice to see you, Cindy, and thanks for stopping by, you know. So there you go.
So let's lead it into Murphy's Law, man. Like, so
yeah. Oh, listen, you're running the show. What do you want to do?
Well, because like, so that's where it kind of ended up for me, you know, like, so we were all, and it has to do with what I was just talking about. And you were talking about everybody hanging out.
Yep.
So the Blitzspeer thing was done. I was kind of like, what's next for me? You know, what's next for me? And I had no clue what I was going to do. And I get a call from Todd. And I knew Jimmy, and Jimmy, I loved Jimmy, was just like such a star. You know, he's such a star when it comes to that stuff, you know. And like, what I loved about Murphy's Law in those days was just the fun aspect of it all. So I get a call from Todd, and he's like, "Hey, we got to talk to you about something." And I'm like, "Oh no, what did I do? Did I piss those guys off?"
Yeah, right. Oh no.
My head told me two things. I'm like, well, they're either going to ask me to be in their band, or they're going to beat the shit out of me for something that I did stupid. You know what I mean? And it was, but
oh boy!
But it was they asked me to play bass for them because they had a tour booked to Europe, and it was the first time I ever went to Europe. And I always loved Todd and Jimmy. I always loved them. I mean, I loved Uncle Al. I loved the whole thing, and I love another guy who needs to get mentioned in my story is Russ from Underdog. Mm-hmm. You know, Russ has really deep roots with this hardcore thing. And Russ and I have been friends for a very, very long time. And how we met is the whole funny thing. And then we're 20 miles from each other in Jersey here. But, you know, the Murphy's Law thing was really, really fun. Going to Europe for the first time, I will always have a big, big spot in my heart for Jimmy and Todd, for giving me the opportunity to go to Europe, playing in squats. We played in beer halls, and dudes are zig heiling us. And here I am, like this rock guy, you know, like this rock guy going, what the fuck did I get into? You know?
Right.
Toured the States a bunch, had a lot of fun. And I think I got, you know, I had told them right from the beginning that it's like, you know, I can only do this for so long, you know, and, but it was such a great time and a lot of fun. And we wrote the Dedicated record together, you know, and I always, it's you know, it was sad to me because when I came into it was when, you know, I came in after Chuck, and it was during that tour is when Chuck was no longer with us. Oof. And Chuck was really, really kind to me and really, really nice when I joined the band. And he showed me a lot of stuff, gave me the ins and outs of the songs, you know, and, you know, we were on the road when that all went down, and it was just a very, very sad time. But I can't say I knew Chuck all that well, just he was very kind to me. And I was, glad that I was in a position to keep the band going for the period of time that I was in the band at that time. I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with it, but like I was in the band at that time.
Can I play
able to stay on the road with them?
Absolutely. Can I play a little clip that when I was doing my homework, that I came across of you playing with them? And it reminded me, because this was a show that I think Murphy's Law would play every year. It was some sort of a toga party, some kind of a frat toga party. Do you remember this?
Yeah, let me see this. Yeah, go ahead.
But let me set the table a little bit, because I guess I watched this clip this morning. I was like, it got better and better. So you guys are playing, and somebody lights off some sort of a smoke bomb, and it's purple, and the whole place fills up with purple smoke. And then somebody says purple haze, and you guys break into purple haze.
Oh, that was Todd. Todd.
Yeah. So it's you, Todd, Jimmy, and I'm not sure who's playing drums. It doesn't look like Goat.
It might be Mike. It might be Mikey McDermott.
I think it's Mikey. So here we go. Let's take a gander at this. It's funny as fuck.
Wow. Where did you find that?
Oh, you know where I found it? I found it. Some guy, the New York Hardcore Chronicles page has 90,000 people on it. And when they heard you were on the show, someone was like, yo, I shot this back in the day. I love Phil. Check out this clip.
It was a big part of, it was a big part of my, that was a great time for me, because those guys also, as I feel I was put in a position to help them carry something for the short amount of time that I was in the band, but they helped me carry on. They don't know how much they helped me. Jimmy and Todd really helped me at a time where I didn't know what I was going to do musically, and by being involved with those guys, really, took me to Japan for the first time, meeting Uzi and all those guys, phenomenal. And then, I'll mention a couple of things just really, really quick. So here I am, this old rock guy. I'll never forget this. I tell Hoya this all the time, I love the Madball guys. Hoya and Freddie, like nothing but, I remember Freddie as a little boy, little kid running around CBGBs and doing all that, but like we played a show out in Queens somewhere with Madball. I can't remember who else was on the bill, because all I remember is that the show didn't last that long. It was just like,
you know what? My guess is it was a place called Castle Heights on Northern Boulevard. That would be my guess.
But like that's another band with the longevity of it, and as people, Freddie has always been very nice to me, and I was fortunate a couple years back. Magnet was playing in Salt Lake City, and Madball was playing across town. So before the show, I took a cab over, I got in, and I sat with those guys. Just such a great time.
Yeah, those
great times.
I love those guys too, man. I've always had a very good relationship with the guys in Madball, and consider them friends, and we've done some good work together. That said, hey, let me shout out some sponsors, and let's come back and let's talk about Little Monster Magnet, huh?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right. What's happening, gang? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Everybody out there, hey, Gina, hey, Sid. Welcome, Sid. Sid, I need to talk to you about the Vinny Stigma thing. That thing's happening. So you need to jump in on that. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by Chain Reaction Records, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, and who am I missing? New York Hardcore Comics. There you go. Want to thank everybody. Just a reminder, this Sunday, we have JoJo from Outburst on the show. Super stoked on that. Astoria Queens represent. And then, of course, a week from today is Ed Stasium. This is going to be epic. Lots of history there. I go way back with this dude. He produced Biohazard State of the World Address, and I was there filming the whole process out in California. So I go back with Ed. He has an incredible story. A couple of other shows in the works. We got a couple of other things cooking. Don't want to give away too much, but a couple other great ones are in the hopper. Was that your vid, Paulie? Thank you. Hey, Phil, that was Paulie Pork Chops vids. Thank you, Paulie, for that. That was great. Purple Haze. That was really great. All right, yeah, I'll call you after the show, Sid. That said, hey, Charlie. Hey, Phil, Charlie's on the show. All right. Good to see you, Charlie. Talk about the Lower East Side. Here comes Charlie, right? That said, if you haven't, just a quick word on my Patreon page. Please come on and support the show and support me as an artist. Check out the Patreon page. There's a $2 tier, a $5 tier, a $10 tier, a $25 tier. There's a $100 tier if you want to be a sponsor. And there's 96 tiers. I'm going to cry. 96 tiers. So there you go on that. Please. And I know for some people, just so you know, I know we're kind of off it, but there is a PayPal because Patreon doesn't let you do a one-time thing unless you do it and then you cancel it. Where the hell is? Hold on. There is a PayPal. If you want to make a one-time contribution, please. What is it? Stone4124 at AOL on PayPal. All right. Yes, I have an AOL account. Just want to make sure everybody else. What's your PayPal? Lori, don't send me any money, Lori. Come on. You're embarrassing me. You've done enough for the revolution. The PayPal Stone4124 at AOL. Hi, Lori Dawn. I hope you're well. Charlie needs to be a guest. You hear that, Charlie? Yeah. But question mark in the Stone Hit Squad, right? I'm going to cry. 96 tears. Woo doo 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 doo. Yeah, man. So it's all good. And it's good to see everybody. And I hope everybody's well. These are still very trying times, very sad. A lot of people are passing away. People are starting to get crazy. And there's a lot of going on. So don't be fooled. Let me see. I got everything else, upcoming shows. Oh, yeah. If you really want to get into the bullshit and you have one of these devices, follow me on Instagram. That's Stone Films NYC. And there's an antidote // NYHC for the Antidote New York Hardcore page. So that said, let me get these banners off and let's bring on, that's our Patreon page. And that is the PayPal page. That said, I think I'm covering everything, right? Let's bring back on Mr. Phil Caivano. What's up, buddy?
What's happening? Hey, a real quick one for you. As you mentioned Ed Stasium, he produced the second Shrapnel single.
Is that right?
Yes, he did. One of my first great experiences in the studio was with Ed Stasium.
Wow. Do you remember where that was done?
It was over on 14th Street somewhere. I want to say, I can't remember the name of the studio.
What was the place that I remember on 14th Street where the Ramones used to practice over there? Was it Baby Monster?
Baby Monster. Yeah.
Because Biohazard recorded in there once, and I remember, all the gear, all the Ramones gear was in the building, and I remember seeing those guys. Charlie Ball. Big up to Gary Cintron. You guys mentioned him earlier. Amazing voice, lest this way too early. His opening act in the limelight for Blitzspear's Live though was awesome. Yeah, well, Gary was.
Hey, Charlie, tell us something we don't know. Okay, come on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Charlie.
Come on. We love you, Charlie.
One last word on Gary St. John. He was a real
Great guy,
lower East Side warrior, man. I mean,
he was everywhere, man. He was a great friend of mine.
And we ran at it hard, man. Me, him, and a lot of us. We ran at it.
Your whole crew. I remember your crew. You guys drove me nuts.
Yeah, we ran at it hard back then, man. And some of us didn't make it, man. You know.
Yeah.
And that's anyhow. Maybe we'll touch on that stuff. Let's keep it moving. I want to get some questions. For you. But let's talk about this a second. Let's talk about this. Boom. Let's talk about Monster Magnet a little bit.
Yeah.
I know this is a bit of a later photo, but
yeah.
I just think it's really great that, years after being in the band, with Dave Shrapnel, you guys have been friends for a long, long time, and that he pulled you in, and he pulled you in on the big record, right?
Yeah. So, after that whole period of time in New York, I was kind of done, and I was looking for something new, and I moved to Los Angeles. And when I moved to LA, I was trying to start a band out there, and I was just hitting the wall. I was in between trying to start a band and trying to work in recording studios. I felt that okay, maybe it's that time. Maybe it's time to get into, I've always been a studio guy after learning over the years. And, I was looking into all that. And long story short, I was around a lot of the early Magnet stuff. I was around the making of Dopes to Infinity. That's a lot of my guitars and gear on that record. That was actually when they were making Dopes to Infinity. Dave calls me up and says, "Phil, I need you to come in and play bass on this record." And I'm like, and all my gear was already at the studio. Because I was getting ready to go to Europe with Murphy's Law. And
where was it? This is in Jersey?
This is in New York. This is at it was a magic shop. So Dave, I lent Dave a bunch of amps and stuff and guitars. They were already at the studio. And he said, "Look, I need you to come in and play bass. Can you start on Monday? I need you for at least 3 songs." And I said, "Well, I'd love to do it. There's just one problem." I go, I'm leaving to go to Europe with Murphy's Law.
Oof.
And so, so that was that. And we've been in each other's lives the whole time. So when he called me when I was living in LA, he was like, coming out there to do a record. Well, he comes out, we hang out all the time. I come back to Jersey for the holidays, and we go to the diner, and he's like, "So I got
the diner." Hold on a second. Stop with that. The Red Bank Diner.
Yeah, Red Bank Diner, bro. Come on. But we were at
the Red Bank Diner.
So we were
I've been in there, and who walked in the Red Bank Diner?
But we were actually at the Americana Diner. It was Dave, Cronin, and I. And Dave just says to me, "It's like, so when are you going to just, I had played a show at Coney Island High with them. I filled in on, well, he asked me to play guitar for Kick Out the Jams and Spine of God.
And Ed was in the band, right?
Ed was in the band at the time. Yes.
Yeah.
Dave asked me to play guitar for that show. It was a couple of shows. And so, because he wanted to burn a guitar. He wanted to set something on fire. He goes, "I can't play guitar and burn the guitar at the same time. So will you come up and play?" I'm like, "Sure." So at that time at the diner, he's like, "So when the hell are you just going to move back to Jersey and join the band?"
Oh, wow. That's nice, man.
And I was like, "Oh, man, I just finally got a gig. I finally had a little tiny house. I had this, stuff going on." I was like, it really, I tell everybody, he goes, "I need 3 weeks. You got to let me know in a month." As soon as I got on that plane and went back to LA, I knew I was moving back to Jersey. Yeah. I just had to go back to LA and figure it out. Because here was my buddy. We were going to tour, I was around. I was in the studio with him with the Making a Power Trip, and it was time to go back on the road. It was time to get in that band and just do it, And
no. So did you play on Power Trip?
No, I did not play on Power Trip.
Okay, because I know the video, the video for the big video. You're not in the video, and I was wondering why.
No, because I worked on the record a little bit. I had a lot of gear in the studio with Dave.
Right.
I helped with some stuff in the studio, very, very minor. And then, but I was on the second. I was in the second video of Power Trip. We cut that video in the middle of that first tour.
Got it. And then after Power Trip, I mean, Power Trip was a big record. It went gold. Right?
Went gold, yeah.
I mean, that is so awesome. I mean, that's so awesome that you guys broke through, and that video was a big part of it. The video's great. You know, what a. I mean,
I gotta tell you, you know, with all that said, and all like being with Magnet for the last, you know, over 20 years, you know, like I don't take any of it for granted, you know, man. Like from, like I told you, that kid who's putting his quarters on the pinball machine at CBGB's, to be able to play at festivals and to do things, to go to Europe, to meet people, to play, you know, like when I was playing with Jimmy and those guys in beer halls and playing with those guys and fights breaking out. It's kind of great. It's kind of great to be like, you know, to me, it's always been about music, you know, to be creative, to be trapped into any one thing was never been my thing, you know? So I feel lucky that he asked me to come back, you know, to Jersey, I'm a Jersey guy, to be back here in Red Bank, you know, it's all right. It's all right.
Diner. Yo, Phil, hold on. Yo, Phil, it's Drew. Listen, I'm coming out there. You want to meet me at the diner?
Dude, pork roll, egg, and cheese, bro. Let's go.
Bro, I was in that diner, you know, because we rehearsed out there for a while when I was playing with Carmine back in the day.
Oh, yeah, Carmine. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. What's the name? The rehearsal place is owned by one of the guys that used to be a Monster Magnet, right?
Yeah, Back Rehearsal was owned by Jim Bagolino.
Is it still there?
Yes, it's still there. And Jimmy also played in Dead Guy. Jimmy played in a great metal band called Human Remains.
Right.
And so there's a lot of Jersey history. So I came back. The thing with coming back home to Jersey and to Red Bank in particular, is like it's kind of like it all went full circle for me.
And listen, I mean,
and it was just a great thing. And also the other thing that happened, I touched on it briefly. It got me back in touch, but my playing in Magnet got me back in touch with, you know, a lot of my hardcore friends, a lot of those guys. You know, I was able to, you know, like with working with Vinny and doing those records, I owned the studio, you know, I had some things I could do. My experiences with the Hatebreed guys. Another guy I have to mention who I love dearly is Zeus, the producer Zeus, you know. Yeah. Right. Zeus was great working with Zeus on those Hatebreed records. Great, you know. Hatebreed hired me to do backline. I was in between Magnet tours. Jamie hired me to, like, you know, do backline for an Ozfest, and I was like the worst backline tech. I was horrible, man. And it just, I could just laugh about it with Sean, and it led me, you know, the other thing with that, it led me to working with Sean on a great record called Exoskeletons, you know, with Wes from American Nightmare, and he's got his band Cold Cave, and like all these great things, working with this guy Cage, and like all that happened from when I moved back to Jersey. If I stayed in LA, none of that would have happened. Yeah,
I just want to, for those that may not know, that here's a picture of you and me here in your recording studio in Red Bank, New Jersey, which I hope you don't mind. Hold on, there you go.
Oh, and there's Hoxie in the back. That's Mike Gallo's nickname is Hoxie, because that guy's like a baby gorilla playing bass. He's the greatest bass player I've ever seen in my life.
So that's you and me in your recording studio. You've done a lot of work there. A lot of bands have been through there. I hope you don't mind me mentioning it's located right above. Is it your sister's maternity shop?
My sister's bridal salon. Yeah.
There you go. Dude.
My grandfather started his business here in Red Bank in 1942. And
And your mother took it over, and now your sister.
mother and my sister, and I moved upstairs next door, and I turned it into an apartment and recording studio.
God bless you, bro. And Red Bank's a nice little town, man.
Hey, like, look it, man. I'm not one of these guys, like, you know, Drew, you know a lot of people, a lot of people in the scene. Like, we grow up, we move forward. I have a lot of precious memories of that time in New York. I never claimed to be a New York guy. I've always been a Jersey guy, and I love that I lived in New York. I was very fortunate to be in New York City at two amazing movements in music and art.
Yep.
And art as well. I remember Jean-Michel Basquiat, like graffiti in doorways. You know what I mean? Like, I remember these things, and I wouldn't have had these opportunities and met these people and done what I've done in my career if I just stayed inside of a bubble. So I don't go like, oh, New York, the way it used to be. Well, were they saying that in the early 1900s? Like, man, I miss my horse and carriage. I don't want to drive this fucking car. This fucking car sucks. Henry Ford's a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Do they do that? Did they do that back then?
Or better yet, how about all the people that are running out of New York now? These are the same that are leaving New York in droves now. And then, New York's not. Listen, you miss New York the way it used to be? Well, hang in there for a while because it's heading that way again.
Like, look, I love everybody, man. And I love all those guys, everything that everybody's went through. And God bless everybody who's been able to stay there, But like, for me, it was done. It was done for me. And I was searching out something in Los Angeles, and it led me back to my hometown with my best friend.
So that kind of leads into something here that's pretty personal, and that's pretty personal, and it's a tie that binds you and I together, and that's the fact that we both are in recovery and we're both clean and sober, and I have a lot of respect for you because you work in that field, and not only do you do music, but you work in the recovery field and help people. And that's what you're doing these days. And you're just a real rock of Gibraltar. And you've helped so many people. You've helped so many fucking people, find their way and get clean and sober, man. And you're a special dude, man.
I don't think too much about, like, I just feel like when my time came, I was I feel like, one of the most fortunate people, on the planet some days, because I fell into a group in Narcotics Anonymous on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. I became very, very involved with it. Those guys saved my life, and I was a bad kid. All those good things I was talking about, I don't have any of it if I didn't allow those people to help me. I don't take any credit for it at all. And through the years, because I got off the drugs and I did what I was supposed to do, I have had a nice career. I've done what I was supposed to do in the first place. And I look at a lot of my favorite bands. Like, here I am, 20 years in Magnet, great records, tours, and all this stuff. A lot of that was gone for me, and to be able to still do it is kind of fantastic. And I look at my favorite bands, like my all-time favorite bands would be, Motorhead's an exception because they're Motorhead. Lemmy was, forget it. I can't even put it into words. But the Stooges, the MC5, Rocky Erickson, all these great bands
pulling cards.
Only made a couple of records. All these bands made a couple of records, and I've been fortunate in my life. Like, it's never been about money. It's never been like, money's nice to have. I wish, you see all this stuff. It's accumulation of my junk pile. But
money's nice to have. But in the meantime, I'm cool up here in my studio above the wedding shop.
But I've made it happen,
Yeah, you have, man.
And, these guys have helped me along the way. Charlie, Charlie's over here,
man.
I couldn't have done it with the support.
Yep.
Without the support of my friends, and the influences I have, I really, really they mean the world to me. And it's about helping other people. I think that if you're in recovery and you've been given this gift of life back, you're supposed to give it to that other kid. You're supposed to give it to that other guy. You're supposed to let people know that they don't have the, you can take that needle out of your arm. Like you mentioned, some of these guys who passed away, I don't know, but I've had countless amounts of friends die from overdoses. And if there's one guy who, I don't mind saying that I'm in recovery, because if it helps one guy, one girl, reach out and let them know. And even with mental illness and all these things, there is help out there. It's available to you. Please find it, and don't be quiet. Don't be quiet in the closet, and don't think that you can't turn your life around, because you can, and you're worth it. You are worth it, no matter how little you have or no matter what is going on. I've seen people who from nothing turn themselves into, with allowing other people to help them, turn everything around. And that's what it's all about.
Right on, brother. And that resonates so much with me personally. We're not going to get into particulars, but we've lost so many people in and around, not just the New York hardcore scene, but the music scene in general. And I have my own personal thing, is that like, when you get to be like our age and you haven't knocked it off yet, something bad's going to happen, man. And I don't want to, we've seen people, our age, when you're still getting high like that in your 40s and into your 50s, it's not. What's that?
I'm in my later 50s now, so I get it. I wouldn't even know what would happen to my brain, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And look, I know I don't want to dwell on it here, and we don't get it. We haven't addressed this, but that's what this whole antidote thing's about. Is we have somebody that's really sick and needs help, and he's been sick for many, many, many years, and we can't do it anymore. We can't enable him anymore. We can't be held hostage every time we have a show anymore. It's a progressive disease.
Yeah, and Drew, it's like I have, I've learned a lot about it, and I know a lot about it only because I've been doing this for so long, and it's one of those things where that person has got to hit that bottom, man, and what is that? We don't know, and it's up to them. And, you can't carry somebody forever, and lots of dear friends, who have passed because of this. And, like some of these guys don't understand that they're really lucky just to be breathing air.
Yeah.
And there's other people that left us way before their time. And why is that? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I've been like very, very lucky and fortunate to help a few people along the way because of my, only because of my story. I didn't really do much of any of it. I took my opportunities and I decided to move forward through them, and all this music stuff, I don't have any of it if I didn't stop using drugs.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't be here right now hosting this fantastic show and having all these wonderful people around the world watch it. If is that Ricky Mahler calling you too?
Texting me, yeah. Tell him.
Fucking Ricky Mahler just called me also. It's like, yo, bro, you see we're doing a fucking show? You know what? Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on. I'm calling him on speakerphone. Hold on. Phil, right now?
Yeah, man, I'm excited. That's what's going on over here. Really excited.
So you see I'm fucking doing the show with Phil and you're calling me and him at the same time.
That's because I'm so excited about the whole thing.
We love you, Fred King.
All right, we love you, fuckwad. We'll talk to you later. Jesus.
Let me tie a couple of things in here too, and it kind of like it kind of touches on that stuff,
Let me say, for those that don't know, that was Ricky Mahler, who played guitar in Circus of Power, who's another old, an old friend of ours. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, and this being the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, I know that hardcore has been in my path for a really, really long time. And I just admire I admire the guys who are still doing it because, yeah, I've been lucky that I've been in Magnet. We've had, don't get it wrong, don't get it twisted. We've had a lot of ups and downs in Magnet. We've had a lot of unfortunate things happen and a lot of fortunate things as well, But I see these hardcore guys and punk rock guys, getting in those vans, piling in hotel rooms and just carrying that torch, man. I love it. I respect it. Going back to, somebody said to me one time in my studio, how come they call Vinny the Godfather of hardcore?
How?
Yeah. And I'm like, how the fuck are you going to sit in my studio and talk about my friend like that? They call Vinny Stigma the Godfather of hardcore because he is. It's that simple.
It's jealousy. It's always why hit. Listen, one thing I love about hardcore, New York hardcore, is it's a cesspool of dysfunctional fucking animals. And once you accept that, which I have a long time ago, listen, it's not pretty. And as soon as one guy tries to climb out, they'll pull him back in. And that's New York hardcore is ugly, and that's part of what makes it great.
Yes, I love it. And I love all the guys, and I love the personalities, and I'll tie it in with this because I was really, really lucky. Again, put in another place. It's just an experience of mine that we'll touch on real quick. It was the last hardcore thing that I worked on was with Todd. I worked on the Bloodclot record with Todd. Everything looked great on paper. I was a big part of helping put the record together, and I'm really glad I had that experience with my friend Todd. Things didn't quite work out with the guys, but when we started doing that with John, it was a really, really good time. It was a really, really good time. So I'm happy that with my part around that, between the three of us, we had a really nice time putting those songs together. Everything on paper was great. But unfortunately, sometimes, when you try to plan it all, it doesn't quite work out. And, it goes back to, look at that.
And that said, I just want to say that regardless, it just goes to show what a gracious human being you are, that even though things didn't work out with the Bloodclot thing and they were kind of messy there, that, in the sad moment when Todd passed away, you were one of the few people that were asked to get up there, and speak and say a few words at our beloved A7. And, you're a big man, my friend.
Man, I'm just a dude, the thing with Todd was, Todd knew he was like a walking encyclopedia of music, and he knew my ties to the older days. He knew my growing up with Kiss. He knew my growing up with all these bands' first records, and he wanted to know about it. Like, that was more of our bond than anything, was my past. And he wanted to know certain things. And Todd and I, our main thing that we bonded over, there were three things: Kiss, Motorhead, and the Heartbreakers. And I love Johnny Thunders. Johnny Thunders was one of my favorite guitar players ever. So Todd and I, showing each other licks and doing things and doing stuff together and, failed projects together. And, Bloodclot wasn't the only thing that Todd and I tried to do together, and yes, Todd was Todd. I get that. But he was an extremely talented man. I don't know anybody who could sit down and pick up a guitar, and play like that. It was, I miss him a lot.
I miss him a lot too. It's and it was sad. It was really sad because these guys were really important to me. And like I said, working on that record with Todd and John and Joey, out in LA, I almost wish we kept that here. I wish we did that on the East Coast. But
coming out helping Todd put that together was a great experience for me, because it was the last thing we did. And like through that all, when things didn't work out, things got a little sour, that Todd and I were able to put that all behind us. You know, we put that behind us. You know, we were talking all the time up until, you know, he passed away. And we all have our issues, you know, and that was the last thing I did working with hardcore music. And I'm glad it was with him, you know, and again, that ties it back to guys like the guys I respect so much, of like, you know, Jimmy and really Vinny and Roger, you know, like to me, the oldest, you know, the guys with the longevity, Vinny and Roger really have something that's more special than people, I think, realize. That I don't even know. But what I do understand is, you know, I'll tie it in with this to wind a lot of this down. I see Vinny and Roger's relationship and their friendship and how they drive each other crazy, and they don't, they do, and all that kind of stuff. It's very similar to my relationship with Dave Windorf. You know, it's very, very similar.
That's your boy, man. I mean, that's your fucking. That's your boy.
I've been in bands, in and out of bands with this guy since 1976.
It's incredible.
You know,
it's absolutely, since you were 14 years old.
Yeah,
it's incredible, man. So yeah, man. Let me say this. We got a couple minutes here. Please, if you have a question for Phil, please repost it. Let's do a question or two, and let's bring Rap Bones back on and Steven in a little bit. And but please, let's do a couple questions with our man Phil. Phil Caivano is on the show. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and I'm your host, Drew Stone. So there you go. Let's see. If ever a show needed a group hug, this is it.
All right, Tim, here you go.
It's okay, Tim. It's okay. You know, hey, let's not get into this too. I'm waiting for some questions to come through. But you know, Walter Lure passed away. Oh, yeah. He was a nice guy, man.
Oh man, Walter, like I said, you know, like
another guy that pulled himself out of the fucking of hell.
Well, the Heartbreakers, I was talking to my friend yesterday, man, you know, like Thunders and Walter and the early Nolan, like that early Heartbreakers lineup, man.
Bananas.
Down the best, the LAMF record, hands down.
Light game changer.
Pure rock and roll band.
And he was to me, he's sort of the unsung hero of the whole thing.
Oh, Walter was amazing. People in the know, you know, guitar players know, musicians know. And, you know, the other guy who I'll say really quick, who I was very influenced by, was Dennis Tech from Radio Birdman. Huh. You know, when you have a chance to see these guys who are still alive, go see them play. Even if it's 5 people there. The last time I saw Dennis Tech play, there was maybe 15 people at Bowery Electric. Go see these men and women play, because they're not going to be around forever. These are the guys that paved the way for what we have today.
Hey, here's 2 variations. Let me just read them both. Oh. Phil, this is from Mr. G75. Welcome, Mr. G75. I'm glad you've stopped lurking and you've come in to introduce yourself. Phil, what are your favorite cities to play in Europe? Also from one of our great supporters, Federico, favorite places to play in the world, Phil.
Oh, wow. Cities in Europe, I'll have to go with Berlin. I have to, because that's where my longest friends are. That's where you know, that when I went to Europe with Jimmy and the guys and Todd and the guys, we played in Germany, and there's you know, becoming friends with Schlumpf and David and the whole the whole Cortex crew. Berlin's just like going home.
It is. It's not Berlin.
And I love Bremen, and I love going to Oslo. I love Norway.
Nice. That's awesome. All
the other cities are going to be. I'll be getting text messages later.
No, but listen. You know, Berlin is Berlin is a very special place.
Yeah,
Oslo, so's Oslo, man. But
real quick, here's my other tie. Here's my other tie to hardcore. Our sound guy, Danny Giordano, one of the first tours he ever did doing sound was with Leeway, and he did Madball, he did Hatebreed, he did this, he did that, and Danny's Monster Magnet sound guy in Europe. So it's still these ties keep coming into my life.
Here's another one. This is from another one of our great supporters and friends, Gregory Ivany, big supporter of the A7 shows we've done. Do you have a favorite record or band that you've worked in the studio with or on, but not played on? I guess another way of phrasing is there a favorite project you produced, you didn't play on it, but you quarterbacked it in the studio?
Well, there's been a couple. One of them, and it's very hard to find, is I love that record I did with Sean Martin. Sean was a guitar player in Hatebreed for a long time. And with Wes, the Exoskeletons record was a big favorite of mine. Because when those guys came to my studio, nothing was written. There was no real plan. It was an idea that Sean and Wes had. And when those guys came here, I was just capturing everything that they were doing. Sean was programming stuff. Sean was playing guitar riffs and bass. Wes is in the other room writing lyrics on the fly. So that was one of the most creative projects I've ever worked on.
Here, this is from our friend Roland Rutan. Hey, Phil, it's Rotten. Thanks for being Ronald. Thanks for being a genuine dude.
Dude, how could you not love a guy named Rotten Ronald? I love this guy. We met a few months ago. This guy's fucking
great,
amazing.
Our boy Dominic, self-taught guitar player.
Pretty much, yeah. I was a kid, and I took a couple of lessons and couldn't really do much, and same with bass. But like, I'd have to say that the self-taught thing came in from the Ramones. The Ramones changed everything. For me, it was really the Ramones, because they gave, I really couldn't play that good, and I was trying to play, and like seeing those guys not play the leads and do all this kind of stuff and do all this guitar. I knew right away I couldn't play like Jimmy Page, or I couldn't play like Tony Iommi, but I can maybe play bass like Dee Dee Ramone. I can maybe play guitar like Johnny, so it all begins with the idea in your head that like, if they can do it, I can do it, so that's where punk rock taught me how to do everything.
Cool. Hey, Rat Bones, you out there? I guess I see him. I see blank. Oh, there he is. Hey, let's bring on one last one, and we're going to bring Rat Bones and Steven on. Hey, Rick, how you doing? A little late to the party. Well, it's going to be archived. You can watch it. I know this. We could talk for a half hour about this, and you and I have talked about being from New Jersey and sort of living in the shadow of Springsteen and Southside Johnny and Bon Jovi, especially in Red Bank, New Jersey. But Giuliano says, Phil, being from New Jersey, what bands you respect from there, hardcore, otherwise? Are there any New Jersey bands that sort of, maybe didn't go super big that you just always loved?
Yes, there was a band from out here called The Worst, and I mentioned them earlier. And if you can find, they were on a label called Mother Records. That band was pretty far ahead of it, and very fast, very energetic, extension of punk rock. It was like they took some things to another level. Mike Trezza was an amazing guitar player and songwriter for that stuff. There was a band called Tyrant. They were a great band. They kind of like, they were a lot of fun. That whole Long Branch crew.
Somebody asked about Tyrant before. In the chat room, somebody asked about
They
Tyrant.
were a local Long Branch band, Red Bank band. There used to be a place. This is a funny story that, Clarence Clemens had a bar here in Red Bank called Big Man's West. All the band, like punk rock, people don't get it twisted. Asbury Park was not very punk rock friendly. They were very friendly. Cindy posted Dirge. Yeah, Dirge was a great band with Jacko. of all these great bands.
I
Like,
mean, but Red Bank, and back then especially, it was all like Bruce Springsteen, Southside Johnny, you know, Beaver Cafferty and the Scooby Dooby Band, and the fucking
the Stone Pony was terrible. Like, look, I'll be the first one to say it. I don't mind saying it. I love Springsteen the person. I love Bruce Springsteen. I admire the man. I love his early records. That was a part of my youth as well, but it was like the backlash of that. It's like, say, with you guys, all the wannabes, I was around a lot of that Asbury Park. They all wanted to be like Bruce. We wanted to be like us. We wanted to do our thing. So we looked for other places to play, like VFW halls, this gay bar in Asbury called Visions. They were the old Visions. Ask Greg. That was one of the only spots that would let punk rock play. We used to play in this little spot, the Fast Lane,
the Fast Lane, and wasn't the Brighton Bar always around? Wasn't Brighton Bar always there?
Brighton Bar was there for a long time. Great place. Yeah, AOD, Hogan's Heroes. Yep. Dirt.
Genocide. What was Wait.
Hogan's Heroes.
Right.
Halfway to Gone, my buddy Lou Gora's band. They're a great band.
Skid Row is from Jersey. We always laughed about Skid Row on the show.
How about this? There was a band from Jersey. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They were called the Misfits.
Right.
Guy Glenn Danzig.
Okay, right.
Jersey.
They were called Misfits.
they were pretty good in there. They were all right.
But you know what? They were Northern Jersey.
That's still Jersey, buddy.
It's still Jersey. Once you go over that bridge from Philly, you're in fucking Jersey. Hey, let's that was funny. Let's bring on Rat Bones. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Phil?
Steven.
Hey, Rat, there you go.
Steven, you with us? You got anything for Phil, Rat Bones?
Just what a journey you just took us on, bro. Thanks a lot, man. I mean, you talked about so many things and touched on how things were and everything. And I don't even think we cared for each other when we first met, way back in Detroit. But like, we grow past those things.
Yeah.
You're an inspiration, man. You to be 14 at Max's like that was pretty cool to hear. I was also younger, like 15, 16, getting into it.
Yeah, I remember
Detroit.
I remember being with Rat in LA with Murphy's Law, and we were at this hotel in back of there was a little diner there. We're in the back, and this guy jumps off the fucking balcony. I was like, this guy's gonna die. So up into the pool from up top. I was like, oh my God, he's amazing. He's fucking amazing.
There's an 8.
What's
your girlfriend Phil?
Hey, Steven, what's happening?
What's up?
How are you? You still driving that train? Not high on cocaine?
Yeah, now I'm eastbound. I went all the way to Penn Station, had to do something over there. Now I'm heading back.
Hey, they drug test you on that job?
Randomly, yes.
Is that why you shave your head?
Is that because otherwise I'd keep the drugs in my hair?
You got anything for Phil on the way out?
I've just been enjoying this. This has been great. Like I think I love the whole 14 years old thing. Like trying to wrap my mind around that today. Like if in 2020, if you were a 14-year-old kid trying to, to explain to your parents, that you were going to go play some of these places. I would love to get a round table of Phil and Freddie Madball and Harley and just like. And
Todd would have been. Todd would have been perfect.
And
Todd was playing in Agnostic Front. I think 12, 13 years old.
Todd was 12.
Yeah, I mean,
that was,
that.
Like I touched on it, man. I used to see Harley around, man.
He was incredible.
Fucking kid, man, back there in the clothes and his whole story, and I don't want to get into a whole bunch of other stuff because to me all that's unimportant, like I recognized him when I started going to hardcore shows. I'm like, oh my God, that little kid grew up.
Yeah.
and you know, and he very, very instrumental and very, very influential. You know, like
Hey, yeah,
well, we didn't even mention fucking Warzone, another band.
yeah, for sure.
Hanging out with Ray, you know, like. Oof.
Hey, tying it back into the New Jersey Misfits thing, Rotten says he's a Misfits diehard, and he found the ad for the show on Doyle's Instagram. And Doyle's a big fan of the show, and he's a big supporter of mine. He's a big supporter of yours. I think it's really great that Doyle reposted this show and steered some people this way as well. So that's really awesome. That said, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Rat, it's so good to see you, man. You gave me some words of wisdom for today, and I fucking love it.
What was it? Can you give it to us again? What was it?
Same here, Phil. It was good to hear you speak. We're humble guys. We've been through a lot, and it's funny, like the longevity thing you talk about. I came up the same way, moving to Detroit when I was like 14 years old, living with my brother's band and drinking at that age and hanging with all 18-year-old, 20-year-old guys. It changes you. It makes you grow up faster. So see you still doing it, like kudos to you, and on all levels, because that's important too. It's not, it's not one dimension. There's lots of things to be doing, and that's what's important,
Yeah, that was what was really important with hardcore too, is that, what I don't want to take any more time, but the thing that was really kind of amazing with hardcore was that, and we saw it kind of starting with punk rock with the dancing, right? The fans became just as important as the band, so as the stage was going on, what was going on in the pit and what was going on the floor, you had these guys who never even played an instrument. They never even played an instrument or picked up a guitar or picked up a bass or had a microphone. They were such a part of the show, if not more. They were just such a part of everything. And it was so really cool to see that. They're like these pit superstars. You know what I mean? It was fucking amazing.
There's a reason I'm still selling the shirt at 53 years old.
Yeah, I put a big shout out to you, Rat. He was amazing. Some of the other guys too. I can't even remember names, but it was so great to see. It was like this whole thing,
Yeah.
Very electric.
Hey, Rat Bones, we'll talk to you soon, man.
Great to see you again, Phil. Steven and Drew, we'll see you again, all right? Later, guys.
Steven, bro, thanks, man. Any parting words?
Always a pleasure. You know what? Just, again, Phil, thank you. It's awesome. And the one thing I do want to say is right before the show started, I saw Phil in the new in the Jesse Malin video for the Todd Youth song. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, I got it.
It was really nice and just a great show. And always, looking forward to you next time you're here. So.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
We'll talk, Phil. Steven, we'll talk soon, all right?
You got it.
Right.
Thanks, Steven.
Woo! Well, that was fun, bro.
That was good.
It was good. Hey, it was good.
We did it for a couple of mooks, like
yeah, it was good, man. It was great, man. And we got a great community here, and it's real lucky people support the show. I want to thank Cindy. I see that Cindy threw her hat in the ring on my Patreon page, and thank you so much. That's what really enables this show to continue is support from people like you. And if anybody else there is wondering and wants to get involved, there's the Patreon address. Feel free, at least go check it out. Thank you so much, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
Yeah. Hey, Phil, I love you, bro.
That was a great interview, man. Great. To me, it's like more like a conversation with you. There's a couple people who I had this, I think I told you the other day, I got interviewed by this guy for this Jersey thing, and he just had his textbook questions, Yeah. But this is more like there's a lot of history. When you have a story to tell and it's part of your life, it's very easy.
Absolutely. And I learned from my dad. My dad was a film director who worked with, a lot of actors and a lot of sports people. And I grew up watching my dad, how he interacted with actors and sports people. And You know, it's always I learned early on, it's a conversation. It's a back and a forth. It's not question, answer. And it's the same with me, whether I'm interviewing the guys in Metallica or I'm doing one of my legacy films for a guy that, was a garbage man his whole life. I find as much interest in the guy who, worked as, sweeping up the floors in his life as the guys in Metallica. I find them more interesting at this point,
Yeah, totally.
I really do. But hey, man, let's keep in touch.
All right, man.
Tell Ricky Mahler to back off a little bit,
No, he's so shot, I can't take it.
All right, bro. Talk to you soon.
All
right, I love you too. All right. Yeah. Wow. What a great show. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. What can I tell you? Larry the Hunter, love you too, man. Absolutely. Looking forward to Larry being on the this bonus show we have coming up on Friday, September 14th. We got Stigma coming on, a couple other people in celebration of the Bowery Electric thing. So please throw your hat in the ring with that. Absolutely. And, support the stages, save our stages, venues in New York City. We're doing our part for the Bowery Electric. It's a benefit show. So there you go. Till then, let me see. Modest Dude, great show. It was great. It was a great show. Thank you, Giuliano. Another great show and a great guest. Thanks, Drew. One of the best episodes. Hi, Kurt. There's a new name out there. Thank you, Kurt. Yeah, it was great. That said, we'll see you on Sunday for JoJo from Outburst. So until then, do good things, and good things will come to you.